You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, what's going on?
You know what? The first thing that popped up was Jay muting my mic, and I'm like, why didn't he do that 2 years ago?
For real, right? What's going on, Rob?
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing, Rex? John, nice to see y'all.
How was your weekend, sir?
It was a good weekend. I got to have a chat with Brandon Montclair on Friday, the writer of the upcoming DuckTales comic. So everybody should go check that out. I did a Friday the 13th Part 2 stream, went out to karaoke, went over to my girlfriend's Saturday night. We watched a few movies, had some good dinner. Then yesterday I got to drive back into town and watch the Cowboys get absolutely embarrassed and rocked by the New Orleans Saints. So it's been an all right weekend.
Yeah.
That wasn't ideal. That's the down part of the weekend.
That was ugly.
I will tell you this, though. If you follow Robbie on Facebook, it is a positive energy feed. The guy is putting over horror movies. The guy is putting over his friends and family, and he's living the best life he can. And I said to my wife, all seriousness, because she even said, oh, is that the good-looking guy you tease about trophies? I said, kind of, yeah, but this is actually what more people should be doing on Facebook. Everybody is so angry on that app. And I'm like, I check out Robbie. It's always him and his crew, and maybe they're at a bar or something. They're hanging out or going to the movies. And I'm like, let's see more. And I'm not saying that because Robbie just happens to be here, but him being here reminded me. Maybe if we saw a little bit more of that. Or Jay is another one. Jay is always trying to help other Kickstarters and putting other stuff out there. If there was a little bit more of that on Facebook, maybe everybody wouldn't be so, you know what I mean? A split second away from throwing hands, figuratively speaking.
Right. So, yeah, I felt for you, Robbie. I was watching that game as well, and that got ugly real fast, man.
Oh, it certainly did. I got in a
Ooh.
little bit late, right? So I start watching it, and it's the third quarter, and I was like, oh, man. Well, let's see how this is going. And then I was just done, and I just spent the rest of the day. I turned it off because you know it's bad when you have to turn off your team. But then I spent the rest of the day just kind of relaxing, chilling, getting some things done around the house. And I watched a movie called A Dark Song that came out a few years ago and really liked it. We'll be talking about that on Thursday night, I believe, for Horror Fest. So it's pretty good.
You know what? I never heard of that movie. When I saw Robbie watch it, my first thought was, oh, I'm going to message him. And then I'm like, no, he'll talk about it eventually. Like, don't spoil the episode.
Yeah.
So
I did. Wednesday, I did watch Beetlejuice, and you know a lot of people are really liking this movie, and I'm just here to tell y'all, I think y'all are all wrong. That movie was trash to me, man.
Really?
But no hard feelings.
I have not seen it.
I've seen it 5 times, and I just sit there and laugh. I don't think they didn't try too hard. They tried to sort of hit the old beats, and then they called it a day. Nobody seemed to be really, even Winona Ryder has been one of those actresses who's been like our entire generation, right? We grew up with her, so to speak, right? First she was the daughter, now she's the mother, whether it's Stranger Things or whatever. I don't really even think she tried very hard. She got a nice big check. Michael Keaton rolled in and did his bit. And she's like, well, if he's just going to roll in and do his bit, you know, what is the, and I'm not saying this is necessarily negative. I'm just saying if you're looking for, you know, like cinema performances with gravity, that's not this movie. If you're looking for like a new original direction and exciting concept for the character or the story, no. Literally, I will give Michael Keaton a ton of credit. There's almost no difference in his portrayal from the original to the new one. Now, some people would probably bag on that and say, dude, shouldn't you have grown as an actor? I think Michael Keaton knew what people wanted.
Easy go lucky. Yeah, Niners. That game was a surprise to me. CJ, I hope so. But this season, man, you don't know who's coming out.
Jay, what I am waiting for, although I love those movies, I am waiting for the return of Johnny Dangerously.
I was about to be like, Johnny Dangerously.
Still be done, man.
Yeah, let's get that one in there.
In the nursing home.
I love Johnny Dangerously, man. Like maybe his kid is taking over the business and put him in a nursing home, and he decides, well, you know what? I'm not quite ready to go yet.
So, Robbie, what is the movie tonight?
Oh, tonight we're talking about the Japanese film from 2003, One Missed Call, from director Takashi Miike, one of my favorite Japanese horror directors. And there's an American remake of this from like 2007 or 8 or something that is not good. But the original one is a pretty solid movie. So that's what we're talking about tonight. One Missed Call.
Was the American remake with Halle Berry?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Halle Berry's not in that one. But it's the one where the basic premise is you get a phone call, you get a voicemail from yourself dated 2 days in the future. When you listen to it, you're hearing the moment of your death. And no matter what you do, everything builds into it, right? So it's a little bit like The Ring, like your typical J-horror stuff of that era, but it has a little bit more bite to it than I think those ones do.
See, there are some people I've read that think J-horror is almost like a 1 or 2 trick pony. I disagree. They might have certain things they go to as storytelling mechanisms, but I have not seen a massive amount of J-horror, but I've probably seen 7 or 8 movies, and I think they have a very good way of taking something that they're known for and sort of massaging it into a new story. That's not easy. That's not easy for any filmmaker to do. And I think their horror industry kind of does that pretty well. I mean, Robbie's the expert, but I tend to think that, yes, I get it. The forewarning of your death is pretty chilling, right? But they've done it a few different ways, a few different times, and it doesn't turn me off of the movie. You know what I mean?
It's pretty well done. Yeah, because like in The Ring, you watch the tape, they're like, you got 7 days or whatever, right? But to actually hear your voice and on a voicemail, and it's got some interesting things. What I love about a lot of J-horror of that era in particular is the usage of technology and how it affects the supernatural. Like that's something that Japanese film really dives into more so. I mean, and what's crazy is they're so quick to do it. Those movies quickly get outdated. When you're watching One Missed Call, they all are on these flip phones. You know what I'm saying? When you watch The Ring, the original Ring, like it's all VHS. Like what's a VHS tape? You know what I'm saying? So it's cool though, because it instantly puts it in a place and time, and just it's the usage of technology through the supernatural is something that's very J-horror, and I like it. So this one's right up there. I want to
do a movie with like a possessed Viewmaster disc set. The guy finds it in a vintage store. He sees something on there he's not prepared to say.
I like
All right,
that.
So shout outs, Easy Go Lucky, Corey Russ, Adrian, Mate 2
is here.
Who?
Triple B.
Let me see who else here.
CJ is
Mr.
here.
Nope. CJ, yeah, I saw CJ.
Who are we shanking? That should be
Adrian.
the name of a comedy. That's great.
Marcus, what's up, bud? All right, so let me see. Is that everyone? I don't think so. But
speaking of Triple B and Dynamite, ladies, if you haven't seen it, go find Rachel Holland's
our Lord, hey,
social media. She did a fun edit. I don't think it's an official cosplay cover, but she did a fun edit for our upcoming Terminator book. She did it just because she's a fan of the property. It's pretty neat. She's very good at what she does, costuming, makeup, incorporating CGI or whatever.
Right. So you know what I didn't do? I did not pick a giveaway. I'm sorry, Jay. I realized I didn't pick a giveaway, but let's make it hashtag EXP.
What's in Nick's office?
Hashtag EXP Monday, all lowercase. So that is a hashtag, and during one of the breaks, I'll go out and grab something and give away. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but we'll figure something out. So yeah, so check out Triple B. Alberto is not too late. They have not arrived yet, my friend.
Yeah, I was going to say we
So,
haven't.
yeah, I'm still waiting on it. They will alert me as soon as it comes in.
We got Triple B. We've got Castle's Corner, which is really good. I don't think Castle is in here yet. And our own button pusher, Jay, humble as he is, growing presence on social media, sort of sharing videos. The Superman thing is just, if you have not seen the Superman preview, if that doesn't make you feel something, you're hollow inside. That's sort of, go see it. I've seen that Jay has kind of shared the link or whatever. Go see that. It's
Mike Asbill, what's going on, bud? So how was your weekend?
Every day is a damn paradise for me. No, the weekend was good. Actually, this is the first weekend in a while I wasn't down the shore. Or people were at my house for, it's your birthday weekend or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I basically got to do, the Jay's Superman video is a grown man. Don't watch that in crowd. Watch that in the privacy of your own home. Don't watch that on the train or something. That's, no. I basically got to do my favorite thing. I spent a ton of time in the movies and in the bar next door. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine for the 17th and 18th time.
Wow.
I saw Beetlejuice for the 4th and 5th time.
So the record is still Endgame, yes?
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to sort of.
Right.
There was a period where I went to see Endgame almost every day for a month. Like I just rolled in and saw it, and my wife is like, "Oh my God, what?"
And not even John has the time to do that anymore.
What are you talking about? He probably has more time now than did before. All right, so let's get started because we got about 11 minutes before the first break. All right, so as always, we got Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher, so a $40 retail or more. And as always, we got it for $5 to the group. Then we got the DF Grab Bag 10-pack, 10 random Dynamite titles. Indie, Marvel, DC, dollar comic, and we have that for $10.
Marcus, I didn't, simply because it was filled with like teenage kids and their dads, and I did not feel comfortable going in there without a kid. Like it would, you know what I mean? It was sort of like guys pushing 50 and kids pushing 15. And I didn't want to sort of bomb in there. Even though there's supposed to be assigned seating, they're all over the place, blah, 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 blah.
No, that's correct, JD. EXP Monday, hashtag EXP Monday, all lowercase. Travis, what's up, bud? All right, so then we've got the DF Grab Bag 15-pack. 15 random indie Marvel DC titles, and we have that for $1 a book at $15.
You know how happy I'd be if I got something like the Spectre or King Conan in a book?
Commander, what's up? All right, so then we've got the X-Men random 20-pack. 20 random X-Men titles from 1990s with a chance of 1980s or 2000s. Books are 9.0 or better, and we have that for $20. All right, so then
I've been looking around a little bit. I don't see anyone else do deals like that. And I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying that I'm kind of peeking at different shows or whatever. They're entertaining, some focus on this or that. I don't see anybody saying, hey, send me $20 and I'll send you a bunch of books at 9.0 or better.
All right, so then we have the grab bag combo, probably the best deal. So that is all 4 of the grab bag packs, including the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. And we've got, if you get all 4, we've got it for $25. Then we've got the DF mystery box, 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 exclusive, 10 back issues, retail value guaranteed of 200, minimum retail value guaranteed of 200. And we've got it tonight for 100. So then we've got Spider-Man, Shadow of the Green Goblin with Green Goblin cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano CIEZE. Suggested retail for $129.99, and we've got it tonight for $75.
Mariano's working on something tonight.
What do you mean?
I just walked in there. He told me he's working on something that I can't wait to see. It involves something a book we're doing right now, and I'm pretty excited for that. I actually said to him, I said, let's not go through the pretense of selling it. Just leave it on the desk for me. Started to laugh. I don't think that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure it's not how it works, John. All right. So then we've got Planet of the Apes #1. I'm a big fan of her. Kirsten Danica Lim with Ape cover sketch. Suggested retail for $129.99, and we've got it for $75 tonight.
I'll tell you right now, look at the eyes of it. It's hard to do that. You know what I mean? I'm certainly not like an art expert or anything, but in my experience, a lot of times where covers fall short is the eyes. And she absolutely nailed it. That's, especially if you're an Apes fan.
I love her. On pencils, pastel look to everything she draws.
It almost looks like, and I mean this in
Canadian. What's up, bud?
I mean this in the most positive way. I almost feel like when you look at one of her covers, like she left her sketchbook outward. Are we back? Yeah, I saw a little hiccup there.
Yeah.
When I look at her work, I almost feel like she left her sketchbook open and ran up to get her coffee when they called her name. And you kind of like, you know, like you talked about the pencils, that's what it reminds me of. This doesn't look like a, slick, super printed, image or whatever. It has like a real sort of personalness to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you could just see, like you would look over her shoulder and and that's what she would be working on. And I think that, there's not a ton of that in covers right now.
All right. Next up, we have Batman #428 with Hawkman cover sketch by Tracy Medina. Just a retail of $129.99, and we've got this one for $75 as well.
Man, Hawkman fans, your time has come. That's real good, man. That's very, very good.
That's a great use of that minimal space too. In the blank. I like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of room to work there.
Sean, what's up, man? Glad you're back, bud. All right.
It's nice to see everybody.
All right, so then we've got Green Lantern, Green Arrow with Green Lantern cover sketch by Will Torres. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we got it for $75.
I almost feel like this is Parallax in the dark multiverse. I don't know if that was the thinking, but I just think that, when you're kind of playing with that black and white negative space thing. Wow.
You have to ask Mariano. He would know. All right. So then we've got Batman Beyond, #1.
Art director to the studio, please. Art director to the studio.
With Hawk Girl cover sketch by Tracy Medina.
Wow.
It's just a retail of $129.99.
I stand corrected. Hawk Woman fans, your time has come.
Yeah, no kids. That would be a good twofer right there,
So if you want to buy those two, Batman #428 and Batman Beyond #1, as a pair, I would do the pair, let's see. I would do the pair at $125.
Wow.
If anybody is interested.
This really is your last week, isn't it?
So then, all right, sign books, and we'll go to right up until.
Wow, man, that's
something.
Yeah.
She's getting better and better.
Everybody is sort of elevating their game a little bit. You know what I mean? I guess I don't know if they're seeing like the market, quote unquote.
Lyle, what's up, bud?
But everybody is sort of every week the covers get better and better and better. Wow.
All right, so then we've got Batman #98, Joker Wars, signed in silver by James Tynion IV. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we got this one for $30.
Is this the right image because it's signed in silver? And I think the signature on the book is in
Yes, the one we have is silver.
Yeah.
I might have transferred the wrong.
I was going to say, because I just looked at it before we went on the air,
That's
and I'm
my
like,
fault. Yeah, same book, same SIG, but in silver. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So then we've got Alpha Flight #1, X-Men #100 homage variant signed by Dan Jurgens.
oof.
Suggested retail of $49.99, and we have for $25.
You don't even lower stuff anymore. You just say, okay, it's half, and move on with your day. I think it was $49.95. You're supposed to say maybe like $39.95 and work it down a little bit instead of, it's been a long day, kids, half. Take it or leave it. Moving on.
All right, so then we got The Walking Dead #103, Chris Giarrusso variant, silver, signed in silver by Chris Giarrusso. It's just a retail of $69.99, and we've got it for $35 tonight.
I don't remember when this came out, but I remember I was at a con, and there was a group of Walking Dead people. You know, they had the Walker makeup on, and they had all the stuff, and they were just literally terrorizing vendors, and nobody had this at that con. I don't know if it's still hard to find or it's easy to find out, but this was a few years ago, and I remember people were like, how do you not have this? And I'm like, well, it's super hot. So they sold them. They're hoarders. They're not hoarders. They're vendors. They get it. They sell it. But it's kind of cool to see this on the show, because I remember that, because somebody looked it up on their phone, like, this is what everybody's looking for. And I was like, wow, that's cool. But I could tell with all the zombie fans that I wasn't even going to buy.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. So last signed book, A Night, Robin #3, signed by Joshua Williamson. It's just a retail of $49.99, and we've got it for $25 tonight.
Oh, my Josh Williamson story last week, and I don't know if it's what. Well, just I remember from when he used to work for like Monkey Brain Press, and he still had a regular job. And like a lot of creators, he's kind of grinding to get noticed and get signed or whatever. Very similar to pro wrestling in that way. And he did something called Ghosted. And I messaged him when that vampire ballerina movie came out. And I said, well, man, did they send you a check for this? And I don't talk to Josh Williamson as much as I used to, but immediately he knew what I was talking about.
Right.
He's like, still pending. Because essentially the plot is his story. And even he fully admits his ideas comes from a Roddy McDowall horror movie, British horror movie from like the 70s, and the name of it is escaping me now. But it's this idea where someone pays specialists to go into what becomes a haunted house.
Isn't that Legend of Hill House?
Yes, thank you.
I love that movie. That's a really good movie. Yeah. I watched a Roddy McDowall movie this weekend. I rewatched Fright Night probably for like the 293rd time, probably.
My friend has a Halloween party, and that's like the first watch while everybody's awake and sober. Fright Night is the first thing that goes in, because we're all a bunch of like old 80s kids right now, right? So like the first things that go in are like the first 3 or 4 like 80s horror movies.
Right.
And then after that, people just put on, whatever.
All right, hold that thought. Jay, I know, -1. Take us to our first break and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out!
Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
Hey, we're back. All right. So where's John? All right. So the free gift. Why you up, John? Hold this up. Lois Lane #1, signed by Mike Perkins, I believe.
You know what? I like this. Why don't
Yeah. Hold it up. All right. So this is the giveaway of the night, and the hashtag is EXP Monday, all lowercase.
Trying to get this in a little bit. Is that good?
Yeah,
People can
you're good. You're good.
see that?
Now, if you
Oh,
could,
wait,
put it
sectional
right
Johnny
here in
Quest
front of
shirt?
me. No, right here.
What, here?
Thank you, sir. All right, so that is the giveaway of the night, right here. All right, so
Very cool. By the way, John, I got you right there, man.
Oh, there
look
it
at
is.
that.
Yeah, Great
DVD,
flip.
Blu-ray.
that's a Blu-ray.
Okay.
Far be it from me to kind of bite off Robbie's gimmick, but if you have not seen that movie and you are a horror fan, try to find it somewhere. Either order it on DVD or pick it up streaming or whatever. It is something very different, especially, you know, a lot of horror, we're used to a lot of splatter, a lot of this and that or whatever. This sort of starts in a different gear. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but, you know, it's not Friday the 13th where, you know, Jason just kills 5 people before the credits. This is a little bit of sort of a different.
Ed Weird, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Eddie, glad you joined us, man.
So, so who just asked? Corey just asked, aren't you a little old to be using crayons, Lyle?
Crayon Lyle. Property of Lyle, but the P is spelled backwards. Dude,
It's easy. If somebody put like red crayon on a yellow cover, you just get yellow crayon and just kind of go over it. That's what you do.
So hold that thought. I didn't want to be the one, but since Ed Weird said something about it.
Do you want me to see if the art director's here to help him with his crayon problem?
Yeah. Cole Mariano. Just want to, everybody on the show tonight, just if you get a chance, reach out to Ed Weird if you are friends with him on Facebook, whatever. So unfortunately, Ed Weird's sister passed last night. He had reached out to me and a handful of others to let us know. And I'm so sorry, Ed Weird. I really am, man. It's been a weird year of all the people I know who have lost someone. So I'm really sorry about that, guy.
It does seem to be that kind of year where like everybody seems to have some loved one or some famous person you wouldn't expect. Yes. Like all of a sudden you find out they've passed and you're like, wait, what? Like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. And I guess that's real life or whatever. But yeah, Ed, I mean, we've all said it, but you know, if you need to reach out, you know, people need to get a hold of me. People know
how much we can say that'll make it better, but you know, we're certainly here for you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I probably spend way too much time online, but something like that, that's worth it.
So, yeah, I just want to take a minute, to just kind of mention that. I knew, but I didn't feel it was really my place to say anything. But since somebody asked and Weird answered, I want to say, a little something.
When I got here, I didn't even want to ask you if we were going to talk
That's
about
true.
it because it's
true.
It's like a deeply personal thing. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to be like.
Yeah, and I know Robbie knew as well. A handful of us that he reached out to just kind of let us know. I'm glad he did.
We're sort of.
Yeah, it's been a weird.
It's been a little
Ron
bit of
recently lost
the community's taking some bumps, man. But
Yeah. So it's very unfortunate. We're thinking about you, bud.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So should we do? Let's do a quick rec scan.
Sure.
All right. So just so everyone knows, the hashtag is EXP Monday, all lowercase, and this giveaway of the night. Lois Lane #1, signed by Mike Perkins.
I'll put it up again a little bit later.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So as always, we had Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher, and we have it as so $40 retail value, and as always, we got it for $5. Then we have the DF Grab Bag 10-pack. 10 random Marvel, Indie, DC titles, and we got them at $1 a comic, and we have for 10. So then we have the DF Grab Bag 15-pack, same deal, Indie, Marvel, DC, $1 a comic, and we got it for $15. And then the X-Men random 20-pack grab bag from 1990s with a chance of 1980s or 2000s, $1 a comic. And then, of course, the best deal of all, the grab bag combo. If you buy all 4 of the grab bags, $50 value at our heavily discounted price, we'll cut that even further and go $25 to get all 4. Then, of course, we got the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, and 1 exclusive, 10 random back issues. A minimum $200 retail value. Guaranteed value. We have for 100. Let's do it for 85 tonight again. It's been real popular and want to get these books into everyone's hands. Yeah, Jay, it sucks. Sean, of course, Eddie Weird's got us all, including yourself. It's just been rough. It just feels like so much has happened this year. I don't know, man.
I just did the hashtag too, and if PCP winds up winning, that goes to Ed Weird as well.
That's nice.
I think others should do the same, unless you're a big Lois Lane fan.
That's a good idea, Robbie. That's a great idea.
All right, so, well, somebody's going to win it, no matter what. All right. So then we have Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Green Goblin cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano SIEZE. Suggested retail of $129.99. We have for $75. We'll do this one for $65 tonight. All right.
That's nice, Lau.
Just to get things moving. That's nice, Lau. I don't know how many shows are like this or how many claim shows are like this, but this has got to be the nicest group in the world. I've known guys like John Spilios, Lars Man, bought the next Triple B's next mystery box that he's going to do an opening for on air. Triple B, this is the giveaway. Lois Lane #1, signed by Mike Perkins, buddy. So. Lyle.
It's Action Comic #1. See, that's the community I love.
Yeah. So, I mean, last week, maybe a week before, they went in, John Spilios and Lars Man, they went in and bought a mystery pack for Triple B so that he could open it on air again. And they also bought a gift for you, Jay, right? Jay, which reminds me, you did not fill out a submission form.
Oh,
So although Lars Mann and John Spilios did fill out, did pay, okay,
if only there was a link in the
I
chat.
can't ship it anywhere because someone neglected to fill out their submission form.
You know what?
Jay.
I'll do that tonight, and you can send my Brian Michael Bendis comic that Triple B got me as well.
I see. First of all, I got to find it. But number two, did you send a submission form for that one?
Yes,
oh my
I did.
God.
Wow, I did it. Ooh, mic drop.
Do you want me to call Amy in here? Because I mean, you know how she feels about this.
You want to get body slammed?
See, this is why I just take my comics and go. Imagine if I forgot a submission form. I don't want none of that smoke.
So
Take my money
in Jay-
out my business.
in Jay's defense, Jay does so much to help me. I'm gonna let it pass, but I couldn't because
I mean, he said he
consider-
sent in the submission form for the Bendis Superman book, though.
Yeah, he's got to send that too, dude.
No, he said he did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I searched your name hoping that one would come up, and I didn't see it. But you
I'll do
sent
it.
me
I'll do
so
it.
many emails and stuff. I maybe didn't dig deep enough.
Oh, I understand. I'll fill it out again after the show today.
See,
Listen,
see
Jay,
now, Jay. Now he's got excuses. You know what I'm saying? That's.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I'm just saying.
So
Rex
all
is
joking
busy
aside,
man.
though, Jay,
Yes.
I mentioned the Superman Bendis book too.
Yes, sir.
It really does help the invoicing because everything's up front, your address, all that good stuff, your email, and we just cut and paste it onto the invoice, so it makes it a lot easier to.
Yeah, I'll do it right after the show today.
Why Triple B? It's Jay, and it's you, of course. Okay, dude. It's just I'm so buried, every day with all the stuff. Yeah, Corey, right? It's just every shortcut I can get is helpful. Like I gotta thank
Me too.
Jay. Like we have one book. It is the Silver Surfer 2-part series that we have for sale tonight, and I sent Jay 2 photos of 1 too, and he emails back. Are we selling one or both as a set? And we're selling both as a set. And he says he wanted to know so that he could stitch the pics together for me. And I should have really did that, but he gets so busy in the day. So Jay does so much behind the scenes. It's well deserved, without question. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that no one sees that Jay takes care of. JD, Kyle. So a shout out to both those guys. Hey, Kenneth Bird. But I saw an opportunity to bust Jay Stones, and I had to do it. I mean, what am I going to do?
I mean,
We're
it
just gonna
backfired
go
on you a
off
little
the
bit,
air.
Rex. It backfired a
What?
little bit, didn't it? Just a little bit.
Yeah, dude, it's like kind of like Dallas Cowboys in the second half.
What?
Ooh. Yeah, I did that.
What does Will
I
Ferrell?
went there.
What does Will Ferrell say in movies? That didn't work out the way you thought it would. What?
Yep. I feel kind of Dak Prescott-y right now.
Oh no.
Oh, that was all the defense, man. That was all the defense.
It was really. I can't even play. Yeah, I know, CJ. It was
Just
I can't
non-existent.
even
Then
blame
Zach
Dak.
Martin gets hurt again. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Come on.
because the picks that he had, like the one that the guy slipped, okay, and it was a timing play. There's nothing Dak could do that. By the time he slipped, he already released the ball, and then after you get to the second half and you're down by that much, what are you gonna do? They know it's gonna pass, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna run.
Corey,
when
they
you're
have
down
like a
3
1 in 30
scores.
chance, right?
What's that?
He said so. Dallas will win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh,
I think
we're,
we got,
we're,
what,
we're still good.
130?
We're still 500, so we're good. It's early.
Just so you know, that was funny and all, but next week, when the Comcasting lasts for 40 minutes, so we don't realize the show is just Jay and Rex, we might regret doing this.
Sean, I have to agree. The Texans look tough all of a sudden. Not Super Bowl tough, but they look tough. They look tough. But there were some surprises. Kansas City almost lost.
Yeah.
Niners
Well, the refs
lost.
helped them out again, as they usually do. So
What's that?
the refs have helped them out again, like they usually do. That's the Swifty allegiance right there, man.
It was like 11 out of 14, right?
I have to admit, this week 2 has been a surprise. I hope there's a surprise tonight, but you
There's
never
some
know.
crazy things in college football too, man. Georgia dropping from number 1 because they almost lost to Kentucky, right?
What,
That's
Arch Manning? Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Florida
Holy-
State
and he can
0-3.
run. What's that?
Florida State 0-3. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I know.
See, I have to believe you can't do that in Tallahassee. That just doesn't fly, man. There are certain football factories in parts of this country you don't know. You can't be 0-3 like ever in certain schools.
So yeah, it has been.
Not if you want to come back next year. I mean, if it's your last year, whatever.
All right. So then we got Planet of the Apes number 1 with 8 cover sketch by Kirstine Danica Lim. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I'm gonna lower that to $65.
Oh yeah, Tracy. I mean, I don't. There's only so much we can say without it.
TSM, what's up, man? All right. Thanks for being here tonight. All right. So then we've got Batman number 428, Hawkman cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I'm gonna lower that to $65 as well.
Remember there was that
man.
whole thing where the
Just when I
Astros-
thought I started liking Sean, he tells me he's an Astros fan. That's terrible news. Terrible news. What
once the Astros were accused of cheating, I always love heels.
do you mean
So I was
accused?
like, okay, I'm there. I don't
Proven
care if
that they cheated their way into the World Series and won, and the MLB didn't really do anything about it. Whatever. I'm bitter.
See, I'm fine
still.
with that. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, it's all kind of wrestling anyway, so I'm not sure the NFL has been a shoot in like the 21st century. A lot of that seems manufactured to me, but I digress.
All right. Then we've got Green Lantern, Green Arrow with Green Arrow cover sketch by Will Torres.
Will should take a bow. This is really, really good.
So just
All
a
right,
retail
Sean,
of
you're crossing some lines right now. You better
$129.99.
calm down, bro. You better calm down, Sean.
75. I'll do that for 65 as well. All right, and then Batman Beyond number 1 with Hawkgirl cover sketch by Tracy Medina. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for 75. I'll do that for 65 as well. All right.
Tracy should absolutely come out and take a bow because holy, this is sort of.
And if you buy the pair, the Hawkman and the Hawkgirl, I'll do the pair for 110.
You know how when you go out to San Diego and they have those images that are like 10 stories tall that you can see from the airport? These are like connecting covers that they should put at Comic-Con this year. Like give
TSM, they weren't given to me like that, Mariano said, but they could sort of connect, I guess. But I'm pretty sure they weren't met.
Is TSM actually the artist? I'm
Yeah,
curious. I wonder.
Is that you, Tracy?
I think that's Tracy. Maybe I'm misremembering.
So
I
Mariano
apologize.
may have been confused because
Well-
he did not indicate to me they were connecting covers.
He was
He's usually
confused
like,
because
Hey, Tracy, how you doing?
he occasionally is missing things from his desk, and he's
Look
All
at
right,
Rex
so I'll
today.
do two
Rex is
connecting
telling
pairs.
Jay he didn't fill out a form when he did, trying to tell Tracy that this isn't a connecting cover.
Well, no. When I get the new sketch covers from Tracy or Kirstine or whomever, what ends up happening is I get an email from Mariana, and basically in each email there's a description. So I think Mariano may have been confused. All right, so check that. I will sell the 2 connecting covers. Okay,
CJ,
for
that's
110.
funny.
CJ, right?
That's next week's hashtag. Is hashtag gaslighting
So
Rex.
let me say this. I don't think Tracy would gaslight me. All right. But I'm glad she's watching. That's cool. Always glad. All right. So, but yeah, gotcha, Tracy. I'm sorry, man.
You know how I always tend to just kind of get to the root of the problem?
By not holding it correctly.
You
That
know,
looks
that's
great.
connecting cover. Hold on a second. I'm a little bit off,
Yeah.
but there you
Yeah,
go.
just hold them perfectly side by side, and I think it will work,
Red and
John.
white, they are connecting.
There we go. That's cool.
So you know.
And the set's what? 125, you said, Rex?
110. I'll do the pair for.
Ooh.
I already said it. I will not go back on it.
See, if you put it this way,
Rex Lighting. I like that comic, Dunes. By the way, Sean, you can't claim to be a Yankees fan if you're an Asterix fan. Just saying.
Marcus, next time take the comics together.
Yeah, probably would help. I'm not kidding.
Look how good Jay is. Jay did it for us.
He's fast. Is he not?
That was actually Alex, but thank you. That was Alex that did that.
Oh, I was actually out. Oh,
I was about to be like, that's what Jay did instead of filling out the form tonight.
All right. So now for sign books, we've
But
got.
seriously, that image is that might be one of the best images of Hawkman I've seen. That's
I gotta tell you. I mean,
that should be a Comic-Con on one of those 10-story kind of digitally rendered images on the back of a hotel or something. That's like a singular.
Corey, 110, Corey. 110, buddy. So yeah, no, I mean Tracy, Kirstine, Tony Scott. I'm trying to think who else has been relatively new to the group. Gotcha, Tracy.
Oh, look at Corey.
Wow. That's wow, that's so cool.
Wow.
Eddie's gonna be like, that's very nice, but I really don't like Hawkman. So
Could you imagine?
You like Hawkman now?
Can you add like a little?
So
Halloween
I got a shout out to Corey. This is like the third gift that Corey has bought someone in the last 3 weeks.
Tracy, it shows that Hawkman is your favorite character. It absolutely does.
Corey, so shout out to Corey. I mean, everybody does it. Lars Man, John Spilos, but Corey for the last 3 weeks has been like Santa.
Yeah. He has. I got my Blade sketch in last week, and it looks amazing. So thank you so much, Corey.
Yeah, that's very cool, Corey. Yeah, he bought one for you. I mean, it's just nobody has to do it, yet this group does it. And it's not like it happens once in a while. It happens all the time.
I said what I told you before. I checked out a few shows, and a lot of the shows are sort of entertaining in different ways or whatever. I haven't found a show yet that has this sort of like regular community of people who like know each other. They become friends and outside the show or whatever. They meet each other. They stop by. And again, I don't mean that in a negative way. This show has developed a very singular personality.
Yeah. Everybody out there in the chats, you're all top notch, except for Sean. Except for Sean, who's apparently an Asterix fan and a Yankees fan, which is impossible. Just not going to happen. Sorry. No self-respecting Yankees fan likes the Houston Asterix. So.
All right, so let's finish the sign book.
This is why I don't do sports or politics. It's all awful.
I'm teasing. I'm not, though. I'm really mean everything I say, but I'm saying it in a teasing way.
All right, so we got the Mighty Morphins Power Rangers number 0, limited encore edition signed by Kyle Higgins.
I know you don't care much about these things, but we're 5 minutes past the break, and Jay's got to show.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, Jay.
Things have gone wrong when I'm paying attention.
The world's coming to an end. We're going to take our second break. Sorry,
Hang
Jay.
out, everybody. We'll be back in a little bit.
We'll be
Thank
right
you.
back.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
download our app on Google Play and the App Store. It's so simple, even my mommy can use it. Twitch, it's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there, too.
All right, we're back.
I have a question. I
Shoot.
just saw for this moment the first time that there's an app for the experience. However, the barbecue guy is the developer. So I'm kind of wondering how legitimate this is. Or is this a deal where that's what Kyle does in his real life and I just don't know it?
I don't know. I'd just like to have some of his barbecue.
Jay, is that what Kyle does in his real life when he's not barbecuing?
Kyle does so many things, y'all. I can't even begin to tell you. He
Okay.
he programs stuff. He codes things for the websites. Kyle's kind of a jack of all trades.
Does he write y'all's? Does he type out y'all's thumbnails?
No, we have a person named Danny that does that, but he also helps with that sometimes.
I want his barbecue. That's what I want.
I was going to be like, somebody can't spell SIEZE in tonight's thumbnail.
Oh, you mean the titles of the shows?
Yeah.
No, he didn't do that.
Okay. Who did that? I'm curious. Was it Sean?
No.
Who does that?
Just know, because I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus for it, one of the producers names the shows.
Okay.
So I wanted to tell the story earlier, but I'll get it out of the way right now. It involves Robbie in a peripheral way. Me and a bunch of my friends from college decided we were going to get together. We wanted to see Beetlejuice together. I'd already seen it a few times. When we saw it originally in the movies, we were all kids sneaking in beers and stuff like that. Great time. So I decided if we're going to see this thing, we should, basically Uber over there and just get wrecked at the bar next to the movie theater. We're having a few drinks, got the tickets, we're waiting. I mentioned, I'm trying to remember what it was. I mentioned, I think I might have referenced something from Dark Shadows. And nobody knew. I said, well, this is why Dan Curtis is like a hero of mine. Nobody at the bar knew who Dan Curtis was. Amongst this group of friends is the friend I've referenced before who last year at an Austin bar was amazed that I knew Robbie because he's such a pop culture philosopher fan, my friend Jay. We're talking, of course, we're pretty loud, drunk, middle-aged men in a bar, not a pretty scene. I'm like, how do you not know who Dan Curtis is? And I start mentioning movies, Trilogy of Terror, nobody knows what I'm talking about. And I'm like, this is terrible. How do you not know this? We've been watching horror movies for decades. They didn't know who he was. I said, you've had to see The Night Stalker. He produced The Night Stalker and The Night Strangler. Nothing. My friend Jay comes back with beers, and he's kind of a lightweight. So after 2 beers, he's already loud. He goes, tell him, go all PCP on him. Tell him. I don't know if the girl at the girl at the bar thought he was advocating angel dust for the party, but the look on her face was great. And I said, I'm going to try to channel my best Robbie imitation here. And I tried to tell them about this stuff, and they were all looking at their phones. One of the guys dropped the phone, so I said, just put it away. You're way too. But I love the fact that PCP them has now worked its way into the lexicon of conversation. Like it's become a verb now. It's not just like a noun; it's a verb. Like PCP these fools. How do they not know who this is?
All right.
How do you PCP somebody? Is it like what happened to Smokey and Friday?
All right.
So I tried to explain to him. I'm like, look, man, Horror Fest is going on right now. Educate yourself. I didn't know what to say. I've known these guys for decades. I'm like, educate yourself.
Hey, I only said that about the title because I thought it would be an opportunity to give a dig to Kyle, and I always have to do that whenever I have the opportunity. But
all right.
Hey,
so
that rule though, I before E except for after C, that's a lie, right?
Hey, I just downloaded the Experience app, and it wants to know if I want to transfer $500 to Kyle Venmo. Wow, he really can go. This is amazing.
All right, so let's finish out the signed books. So second to last was Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers number 0, limited encore edition, signed by Kyle Higgins. It's just a retail of $19.93, and we have it tonight for $15. Make 2, what's up, bud?
Make 2, yes. The movie theater I go to is connected to a mall.
Yeah.
And
the restaurant's in the mall.
And the restaurant and bar is sort of like across maybe 100 yards or less. It's just like maybe 50 yards. It's just walking. You walk into the mall, that entrance, and the right is Yard House, and the left is the Regal Cinema, which explains why a lot of times I wind up Ubering home, and then my wife has to drop me off in the morning to get my car before she goes to work.
All right. Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp.
Man.
Suggested retail of $29.99, and we have tonight for $18.
A Detective Chimp with a machete? That's amazing. That's amazing.
All right. So, all right. You know what? Let's do a quick, short Rex cap of signed books, and then we'll move on to some keys.
Show that. Show Tracy's book again. That cover's amazing.
Well, all right. Well, but Corey Russ already claimed it for weird.
Oh.
So,
Tracy, if you're still in the chat, I can't say enough about that, man. Hawkman is one of those guys that I've always felt is difficult to make look really good. You know what I mean? Like that sort of eye-popping, jaw-dropping good. And he totally nailed it. Absolutely totally nailed it, man.
All right. So let's start with the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 Sign, 1 exclusive, 10 random back issues. Minimum retail value of $200 guaranteed. We had it $100. I lowered that to $85 tonight. All right. So then we got Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Green Goblin cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I lowered that to $65. Then we've got Planet of the Apes number 1 with 8 cover sketch by Kirstine Danica Lim. It's just a retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I lowered that to $65. And then we had Green Lantern Green Arrow with Green Lantern cover sketch by Will Torres. Suggested retail of $129.99. We had it $75. I lowered that to $65 as well. Get PCP, Sean. All right. So the sign books. We have Batman number 98, Joker War, signed in silver by James Tinian IV. It's just a retail of $69.99. We had it $30. I'll lower that to $25.
Yeah, I should sentence my friends who didn't know Dan Curtis to like 100 hours of watching PCP, because I got to tell you, that's reprehensible.
All right, then we got Alpha Flight number 1, X-Men number 100, homage variant, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $49.99. We had it $25. I'll lower that to $20.
That's really that. I like that, man. This cover's been homaged. You know, this pose has been homaged a bunch of times. There's something about Alpha Flight that's just always kind of neat. You know, you just don't see them that much. I imagine, like in Marvel Canada, right, they're the best-selling book, and the Avengers are like a thing you see 3 times a year.
I just hope that Sean's already voted for the CBC Awards, because if not, I think I lost some votes tonight. So, love you, Sean. The Astros suck. So there you go.
What? Oh, you. The voting is just a formality at this point.
Everybody go vote. CBCAwards.org. Let's go.
All right. So then we've got
Sean, I agree with you. I've read stuff that Dan has done that I would not normally read, and it was totally worth it. I mean, I'll admit, I'm like a big mark for like Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, but I've read other stuff that he's done, obviously Superman, Thor, whatever.
Yeah, Thor is one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, I have not. Dan is just one of those creators that what he does just works.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody ever says, "Oh, I hate that book. Dan Jurgens is doing it." I'm like, really?
All right. So then we have The Walking Dead number 103, Chris Giarrusso variant silver signature, signed in silver by Chris Giarrusso. It's just a retail $69.99. We have for $35. I'll lower that to $25 because it is slow out there tonight. All right, so let's see if we can get some of these books off the rack. All right, then we have Robin number 3, signed by Joshua Williamson. It's just a retail $49.99. We have it at $25. I'll lower that to $20. All right, then we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 0, limited edition, limited encore edition, signed by Kyle Higgins. Suggested retail of $19.93. We had it at $15. I'll lower that to $12. All right, then Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp. It's just a retail of $29.99. We have it $18. I'll lower that to $15. And that is sign books of the night. All right, so now we've got some back issues, but they're keys, not like the ones we had before. Is a collection we just picked up.
That Chris Iliopoulos book, I'd like to see someone take that home. Because not only is that work good, that guy has done one of my favorite projects ever, and I'm sure Robbie knows what I'm talking about. One of my favorite Fantastic Four projects ever that guy did. And it's Franklin Richards.
Franklin, Son of a Genius or whatever?
I love that book. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, I don't want to see that. It's Family Circus in the Baxter Building. And that's exactly why I enjoy it. He's a creator you don't hear name mentioned as often, but the work, I hope someone Walking Dead family ever takes it home. It's very neat.
All right, so the key back issues that we have from this collection, Alpha Flight number 33. It is the first appearance of Lady Deathstrike, and we've got this one for $10.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that's high grade.
That's crazy low.
What do y'all think about Magneto's costume of this era?
Magneto is my favorite mutant. That was not my favorite costume that he had.
Just curious.
All right, then we got Star Wars number 41. And first cameo of Yoda. This is an old one. And we got this for $20. Triple B, are you claiming it, bud? I'm going to pencil you in, but I don't have a pencil. But I'm going to write you in because I'm assuming you are. If I'm wrong, let me know. Or if I'm right, let me know.
It's a great pickup if it is, though.
If Robbie doesn't win all these awards, do we get a new person on Monday night? Because I'm not okay with that.
I got to maintain a certain level of award winning to still be
That's
here.
what I was going to say. Is it just Robbie's our guy, or do we get like a new champion?
No, Robbie's our guy.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't.
And I don't think his hair.
I don't know if I win like 5 more awards this year. I think my appearance fee is going to go up. So.
No, I agree with that, but you remember the Exiles? You had a character you liked and they died, and immediately a new character showed up. Like, oh, sorry, your favorite character on the book died, but I'm the new character. And it was cool, but it was terrible when it happened to a character you liked.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really think Robbie's hair is that great, that it's award-winning.
We should not talk about hair.
Okay, but we don't have him on the show because of his award-winning hair. We have him on the show because he's interesting, he's funny, He has a good following, even though he's a Cowboys fan.
I'm curious who told you that, because Nick told me it's just the hair.
And he and I disagree. Just to remind everyone, if you're watching our rewind, hit the submission form if there's anything you're interested in. If we still have it, we will honor any price that you hear on the air tonight. Also, if you are interested in Thundercats Mannix Metal, they have not hit our warehouse yet, but I am taking pre-orders. I know several people, including Marcus, are looking for it. So it has not arrived yet, though.
I like the way Dwayne Zapain took this thing full circle. Robbie's getting so famous that he will be charging people for him to sniff you.
I could see myself doing something like that.
He has like on your website.
I'll sniff you.
Rate your sniff.
You're gonna have to Venmo me. All right. $20.
Thank you, Marcus. That's what I'm saying. No more gaslighting. We all know it's the hair.
Oh God. All right.
That's why Robbie's in the big picture and I'm over here like this in the corner, like, hey, everybody.
All right. So then we have Batman number 89, first appearance of Punchline. And we got this for $25.
I'm kind of wondering if James Gunn is going to tap this character for his version of the DCU.
It'd be silly not to, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Dwayne Zapain, you got it, buddy.
I'm not one of these people that are like bashing Gunn before he's produced a single thing or whatever. But I would like to see, if he is going to jump in, I'd like to kind of see him use maybe a couple characters at least that we haven't seen so much of. You know what I mean? I think a guy like James Gunn could make Clock King really cool. And that's a Batman villain that,
the animated series kind of already did that, actually. Another one of those really dumb villains they make cool, man. So yeah.
There's a scene in that movie where he's just escaping from people because he knows when the trains jump, when the light changes. There's a scene where he basically steps off a building and you're like, ugh, and he knows the train is passing by. He looks at his watch, jumps over, and I'm like, that's some pretty cool stuff, man. Like in live action, that would be very neat.
All right. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 308. It is a McFarlane cover. And we have this for $5.
Is this a key or just a McFarlane cover? Is that
just McFarlane
Taskmaster?
As far as I know.
Just trying to see if that's Taskmaster. That looks like Taskmaster, right?
A little bit. All still in our heads like dogs.
Well, I'm just trying to look
who is that? It does look like Tasky.
Well, with John, he could just go to the rack and pick it up and turn it over. So is anybody going to Baltimore, the Comic-Con in Baltimore? I imagine Ron's going to be there. He lives around.
I was going to say Ron lives.
Yeah, right around that
in
area,
Maryland area. I'll put it that way.
I don't either. But yeah, so I imagine he's going.
Yeah, I've never been to Baltimore, but I hear it's one of the best creator-centric cons out there, kind of like a Heroes Con or Memphis Comic Expo, where it's not about like who was in The Walking Dead or who played who in Power Rangers or who's doing what voice. It's about the comics, right? And I've always heard that that's a great show for that.
It's a little bit like Pittsburgh's con too, in that way that it's sort of, it's just creators. They've got their artist alley, they got their writers row, they got their panels. But nobody's waiting for like Robert Downey Jr. to helicopter in. You know what I mean? It's just really about comics and, comic related other projects or whatever.
All right. So Sean says one of his favorite indie comic publishers will be there. So look for Bad Bug Media Booth if you are going to Baltimore. Definitely check them out. All right. So next up we have Uncanny X-Men and the new Teen Titans number 1.
Oh, wow.
This is, I believe, a wraparound cover, by the way. We've got it for $10 tonight.
Oh, man.
Chris Claremont, Walt Simonson. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, this is
real. All right. Dwayne, you got it, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to say $10.
That's a great pickup. And these Marvel DC crossovers, I think this was the last one for a while, right? Until like the 90s. I think this was the last one because it kind of fell apart because they were going to do the Justice League Avengers one. And George Perez had already started working on it, right? But but then there was some bad blood or something, and they didn't do them again so now we know that we're getting the omnibus collections of all the DC Marvel crossovers, and we're getting all the amalgam stuff. Those things have been continuously delayed, and they've already said they ain't reprinting them. And a lot of the orders that have been put in are probably going to be taken up by pre-orders, especially by the time they drop. So whenever you have an opportunity to grab one of these books, you should pick it up 100%, because you never know with these kind of company crossovers if you'll get to see it again.
Right.
I hope the production quality of the collections is equal to. I spent a couple dollars to get the Justice League Avengers crossover slipcase edition back in whatever. And it's just the perfect format for this type of story, right? And I'm hoping that when they put these things together in an omnibus, it's that level of, and I understand for some people it prices them out a little bit, but for something that comes along so infrequently, I would happily pay more money for a better quality product than just, the same old sort of soft cover masterwork stuff from the 2000s, which everybody I know who has those, they just kind of fell apart. You'd read them a few times. Like I got the masterwork stuff so I could read the first 100 issues of Fantastic Four in black and white. And they're all sort of like, I don't open them now. They just sit there because I read them a couple times, took them down to the beach. They're done.
So talking about this weekend, did you text me pictures of beers and it was like 11 o'clock?
Yeah. It was my day.
I vaguely have recollection. What day was it? Saturday?
I don't know. I'm checking now. Probably Saturday.
So, I'm drinking my first cup of coffee, thinking about, the errands I got to run, things I got to get done, and was going to a softball game.
Yes, Saturday.
And as I'm getting ready to go, I see this, and it's a picture of beers and John getting ready to go see another movie. What did you see that day?
I think that day I saw, when I texted you, I saw Beetlejuice again.
You know what? I almost texted you back.
Because I sent you a screen image of like, here I am again. And I sent you the screen image of the opening scene when Winona Ryder's in there doing her show.
So, you know what's funny? I almost texted you back this weekend. It would have been Sunday. Saturday, I ended up at a softball game I wasn't planning on going to meet you at brewery finally.
Oh. Always a great place to find.
That?
What was that?
I have no idea. My computer just spoke to me. It's Beetlejuice. Oh my God.
Don't say it again.
Well,
it's 3 times.
It's all those red tube tabs you have open in the back.
No, okay, that was spooky. Was it not?
That's how the software is set up now.
Oh my God, that was weird. Okay.
Got a ghost in the machine, bro.
Yeah, for real, right? All right, then we have Silver Surfer #1 and #2, the 2-part limited series from 1988.
Oh, nice.
The one that Jay had to stitch up together for me. And we've got this pair for $15.
Oh, wow.
One of the greatest Marvel comics of all time. Why? Because the GOAT himself did the artwork. Mobius, y'all. Yeah. If you've never gotten a hold of these, this is a great chance to get it at $15. In most shops, you're not going to find both of them for $15, maybe one each. But Mobius is one of the GOATs. He's up there with Kirby and Otomo. Yeah.
You won't find these for $15 for 2.
All right. Maybe not, Lyle. Let me make sure my phone didn't suddenly. No. That was weird. Okay. Did you not hear a female's voice going, mm-hmm?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was.
Jay, was that you?
My mic is on mute and I'm alone, so hopefully it wasn't me.
Oh my God. Okay, it is haunted here. Oh man, that was kind of spooky. I'm sorry. That was definitely kind of
Thank you. A couple people made Mark's made the reference of Crimson Tide, I think that movie is.
Crimson
and that's
Tide.
a great,
I love
underrated Denzel Washington movie.
That was with Gene Hackman. And they talked about the horses. That was a big thing.
They talked about the horses.
What are they called? The
Living Sound of Sound.
Yeah.
There was a great sort of earlier part where they're showing Denzel Washington's command ability, and he sort of gets this guy under control who's getting a little edgy, and he knows this guy's a comic book fan. So he says to the guy basically right out, they're arguing about Kirby Surfer or Mobius Surfer. And the other guy's like, I think Kirby Surfer. And he's like, Kirby Surfer is the only one. The others, no. And he basically, by doing that, he sort of gets the guy focused back on task or whatever. And I've had friends who served that told me that's what good officers do. They will sort of, you know, if you're slipping a little bit, whatever's going on, they will kind of, you know, they'll make a reference about sports or music or something they know that the person under their command is into, to sort of, you know, kind of get them back a little bit.
All I remember about that movie was Gene Hackman, the little dog.
Yeah, he had the little dog.
He had the little dog that went on summer.
He said that little dog, I saw an interview with him, and he said the little dog came from some admiral during World War II. The guy always had like a little Jack Russell Terrier or whatever with him. And he just thought it was sort of a cool element.
That was a really, really good movie, I have to admit. I watched it it was on cable at the time. And I just watched it because I really kind of like submarine movies.
Me too.
I just love because you got a confined space and then you got all this stuff.
It intensifies the storytelling.
Right.
Nobody's walking out of the room, you know. Right. Nobody's going to their house, you know.
And it was just such a great movie between Denzel and Gene Hackman. Just the interaction between them, that was awesome. That was a great movie. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we went through a period of about 10 years or so where we got a bunch of really good submarine movies, kind of starting with The Hunt for Red October. And I think Crimson Tide might have sort of been the tail end of that trend. You know, there were a few others too. I think there also might have been one called The Widowmaker with David Duchovny.
K-19, The Widowmaker, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I also am a big fan of U-571. I love that flick.
That's a great movie. I just remember Harvey. They're way down deep, and Harvey Keitel looks. He's like, the Germans know how to build submarines. Like, I don't like them for anything else, but I can't deny it because they're way past their depth, and the thing is still holding together. And he's just like, guess they know how to build submarines.
They do such a great job in U-571 too of the depth charge warfare stuff, like the aspect of that, like how scary it must be waiting on these things to go off, you know, like that's crazy. And John Bon Jovi gets decapitated like within 5 minutes of showing up in the movie, pretty much.
Everybody's like, John Bon Jovi's in the movie. Well, you know, don't go get the popcorn now. Yes,
Matthew McConaughey's really good in that movie, man. Like, that's a good one. The music's great too.
If you haven't seen any submarine movies and you think, go check something out. I mean, I guess the one most people have seen is probably Hunt for Red October. Yeah. I mean, not to disrespect any other movie, but, you know, it's sort of Hunt for Red October is the thing everybody's seen.
Yeah.
But there's older movies on submarines that are really good. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a horror movie. And I thought a submarine was a great place for a horror movie. The same reason I like Arctic horror. There's really nowhere to run. It has similar vibe to The Thing in that where are you going? You can run outside and die, or you can stay inside, maybe try to not die, but you know it still doesn't look good.
I'm looking it up. The first thing I could think of was maybe The Abyss, but that's a little bit more than just a sub movie, right? But they
it was
Below, Gods of the Deep, Leviathan.
There was one on Shudder.
Leviathan, that's the Peter Weller movie. That's a good one. If you remember that one, Leviathan.
There was one, it was sort of like during World War II, and I think
Sequest, the TV series.
Sequest is great. I love Sequest.
That was kind of like Star Wars and the Sub, or Star Trek and the Sub.
It very much was like Star Trek and the Sub. Well, that was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, really.
CJ, I've been on tours where, you know, old World War II sub you could call in. But no, I've never actually been at Down Periscope was a funny one.
I've been on
20,000 leagues under the sea, of course.
I should say I've been in the submarine. It was like docked, you know. It was just like
I've done that. The only moving submarine I've been in is in Disney. 20,000 leagues under the sea when they still had that ride.
I loved it, man. That's like that good Kirk Douglas movie. Sphere I like too, but it's not Sphere. Sphere is another good horror kind of submarine horror movie.
See, Sphere's one where I don't really like the movie, but it's because Michael Crichton's like my favorite, like just like fiction writer for novels. I love Michael Crichton's work, and I love Sphere. That's my favorite Michael Crichton book, and the book is way better than the movie, but I still do have a little bit of a love for that movie. Dustin Hoffman did a great job in that one.
All right. So the last back issue that we have of the night, Ultimate Fallout, Spider-Man #4, facsimile edition, and it's first appearance of Miles Morales. This is the second print, and we've got this for $5. Yes, CJ. Yeah, I know what you mean. The tours I've taken, it is really tight, man. Not to see the light of day for however long they're down. It's got to be something. It's got to be nuts.
I couldn't handle it, man. I don't think I could handle being in a submarine. I really don't. Or a spaceship, man. I just too tight. You can't like go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like that just seems way too much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very special people can do that stuff for a long time in particular, right?
No worries, that weird.
Oh, Eddie, that's, at least that's some,
Yeah.
little bit of light in the dark there.
Yeah. No worries, that weird. I'm not sure if you were here, but just so you know, Corey Rust bought you a gift. The connecting covers by Tracy Medina of Hawkman and Hawker. Just so you know, buddy. All right. So you're going to see that coming your way tomorrow. In terms of an invoice, you're going to be like, what the heck is this? So I just want you to know, bud. All right. So let's do another Rex cap real quick. Lyle. All right. So as always, we have the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 virgin cover, 1 signed cover, 1 exclusive cover. 10 back issues, guaranteed retail value of $200. We had it for $100. I've got it for $85 tonight. And I probably can't get away with that too much longer. Selling it at $85. All right, then we got Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Green Goblin cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I lowered that to $65. Big John, what's up, bud? All right, then we have Planet of the Apes #1 with ape cover sketch by Kirstine Danica Lim. Suggested retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I lowered that to $65. All right, then we had Green Lantern, Green Arrow with Green Lantern cover sketch by Will Torres. Suggested retail of $129.99. We had $75. I lowered that to $65.
Could you imagine being on the Apollo missions or the Gemini missions, like with like 2 or 3 people in that tiny little thing? Oh my goodness.
It's even worse.
I couldn't even, I can't even, like, because we have the Space and Rocket Center here, right? And so there's like the lunar module, like you can go into it like in a replica of it. No way. Ain't no way. No way. Cannot, no.
Yeah, well, imagine, at least in a sub, you could do an emergency surface, okay, and open the hatch, okay? Would they ever do that? Probably not, except in these extreme emergencies. But think about it. You're in a space capsule in space.
Yeah.
That ain't happening, dude.
Ugh.
So that Boeing capsule that they brought back, Starliner or something like that. So imagine how those 2 astronauts feel. They went up. It was supposed to be an 8-day mission. Now they're stuck up there until what, February?
They're going to give NASA 1 star on the review.
They're on Google right now.
Right now, they're on Glassdoor or whatever it is, and they go to NASA and they're like 1 star. If I could give 0
they're
stars,
cited into Yelp.
Boeing, they got a point. It's not really NASA. It's really Boeing that got money. So I don't know.
It seems like the farther away we get from like Nazi science of the Buck Rogers era, the worse they get at this. Because in the 1930s, guys hopped in a rocket and it was no problem.
All right,
60s, we made it to
let's call it what it is. Okay, Boeing's got planes that crash, doors blowing off.
Boeing's not having a good year, man.
Okay,
really not.
Who thought the Starliner would be a good plan? Okay, come on, seriously. And they've been building planes for how long? You know, it's just.
When you guys wonder why I take like 20 hours to take the train down to Orlando, please thumbnail this story.
I don't know that that's any safer these days. With all the trains that derail, I don't know. Man.
You just don't want me leaving the house, do you?
I'm just saying.
4 months. I got claustrophobic being on that
Fly
sub
Airbus.
as a tourist.
Yeah, I know.
I'm turning around. I'm like, okay, I get about a third of the way through the submarine. I see these tiny compartments where dozens of people live.
How did they put you in submarine, dude? You are one of the tallest guys I've met. That had to be.
Well, they said they kicked him out of it when he grew too tall. So that makes sense.
I got kicked up because I grew too tall.
Yeah. I mean, my God, dude, you must have hit your head on something all the time. You know, he probably has a concussion, CTE from his head so much.
There's certain things too, like being a pilot. A buddy of mine spent about 10 years in the Navy, and he wanted to be a pilot. He was too tall, and they just told him flat out, dude, you are too tall.
Yeah.
You know, he had good scores and good aptitude and different things or whatever. He spoke a couple languages, so the Navy was happy to have it. He wanted to live out his Top Gun fantasy, and they had 2 words for him. Absolutely not.
Yeah, they kicked him off when he was 7. When he turned 7, got too tall. All right, so Batman number 98, Joker War with Sod and Silver by James Tinian IV. It's at retail $69.99. We had it 30. I lowered that to 25. All right, then we've got Alpha Flight number 1, X-Men number 100, homage variant, signed by Dan Jurgens. It's just a retail of $49.99. We added 25. I lowered that to 20. All right, so we'll stop there because we're going to go to break in about 2 minutes. But
Jay screaming in your ear.
Yeah, we're not that professional. I'm just feeling Jay's vibe right now.
That would be great.
But yeah, no, I mean, I it's so tight down there. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. Just
honestly, they want guys your size in submarines, especially back then during World War II.
Yeah, no.
They wanted guys 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". They didn't want anybody 6'2".
I would lose my mind, dude. I would lose my mind. I would absolutely lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the tour guide looking at me. The tour guide's thinking this guy is going to Winnie the Pooh in the hatch. We're not even going to be able to get him in or out. You know what I mean? But, you know, I was sort of able to kind of get in there. And, you know, it's amazing, especially the one we went on. I think it was in San Diego. It's a World War II era submarine. I can't remember the name of it. To think that these guys, I mean, this is very sort of diesel punk. And it's impressive. They're like, oh, yeah, I could do this, I could do that. Very cool. Oh, and yeah, Robbie, you named it. The movie I was trying to think of was Below with Bruce Greenwood. I think you actually named it.
All right. So we're going to go to our last and final break. Hang out. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Eddie, me too, man.
All right. Jay, take us to break, please.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you miss it? Yeah, they can go by pretty fast. Let's slow down the footage.
Welcome. It's time to skim some comics. Miles Morales Spider-Man, I will just tell you, that Miles is very important in his role as a vampire. So
It's fine. If you like Hercules, read it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's fine.
The art is still stunning. There's a panel, little spoiler, there's a panel in this where Chitauri first hits Lion-O, and he is the best "did she really just hit me" face I've ever seen put in a comic book.
Wow, live reviews of new comic books so you can be ready for New Comic Book Day. What is this? Oh, I see. It's Minute to Skim It. Part of the experience. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
That'd be really great. Thanks.
Hey, we're back. All right, so let me finish the Rex Cap. All right, so next up we had The Walking Dead, number 103, Chris Giarrusso variant, signed in silver by Chris Giarrusso. It's just a retail at $69.99. We had 35. I lowered that to 25. You know what? On this particular book, I'll lower that one more time to 20. And yeah, right? Big John, I was going to say that. All right, then Robin number 3, signed by Joshua Williamson. It's just a retail of $49.99. We had it 25. I lowered that to 20. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 0, limited encore edition, signed by Kyle Higgins. It's just a retail of $19.93. We had it 15. I lowered that to 12. Then Justice League number 53, cover A, signed by Liam Sharp. Suggested retail $29.99. We had it 18. I lowered that to 15. All right, these are the back issues I got left. Star Wars number 41's first cameo of Yoda. And we have that for $20 tonight. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 308, first McFarlane cover. We've got that for $5. Then we have the Silver Surfer number 1 through number 2, the 2-part limited series from 1988. And we've got the pair for $15.
Yeah, you're
This
just
is
not
something that should be in every comic book fan's collection. If you do not own it, you deserve them. Treat yourself. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, $15, like Robbie said, you might find them for $15 each.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
no lie.
find
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
closer we get to Silver Surfer making his appearance in the MCU, aside from like the first appearance or the first few appearances in Fantastic Four and the early issues of the John Buscema stuff, this is going to be hard to find too. This is going to be what people go after 100%.
Yeah, I think that I'm glad you mentioned that. I meant to mention that earlier. Just like we used to tell people in years past, you kind of have to keep an eye out for what the MCU. Oh, smart Triple B. That's a really smart pickup, bud. You have to kind of keep an eye on what the MCU is doing a little bit, right? Because when something is coming, every retailer I know says suddenly the people start trickling in. They start emailing in. They start hitting them up on social media. Hey, do you have this? Do you have that? One of the guys I talk to all the time in Connecticut, he said, I have never received in my life a single email or message about Agatha Harkness. And now people are wondering what her first appearance is,
Right.
because I guess it's tomorrow?
Wednesday, right?
Wednesday. Today's Monday. It's Wednesday.
It's hard to know when, you know, your entire retirement life is drinking at 11 and going to see a movie.
And he said he started getting these messages.
What's her first appearance in Fantastic Four, right? From back in the 70s, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, she was Franklin's nanny. They
did the whole Salem 7 story or whatever, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, that's eventually, you know, like we'll get the Silver Surfer in the MCU. Right. We'll get a proper Galactus in the MCU eventually at some point.
Yeah, Triple B, that's a great pickup. And I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Mobius, but whether you are or not, you're in for a big treat, 100%.
All right, so let's go to incentives next. All right, so here we go. Aliens versus Avengers #1, 120-25 ratio by Tony Daniel. Looks like I have 2 of these left. And we got them for $15. All right, then we got Blood Hunters Volume 2, #2, 125 ratio, Young Yoon. And I've got a handful of these at $20.
And Blood Hunters was another thing I was sort of vampired out of because of DC. And Robbie said, check it out. And I'm super glad I listened to him, and I'm super glad I have. It was, not to be mean, but DC didn't quite get it right. They just didn't. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, they kind of went for the shock and the splatter or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just having trouble buying this. To me, it's Injustice again. You're just creating like a new world for your stuff. To me, it's all Elseworlds. I don't care if they do 1 graphic novel or 100 comics. It's just, it's hard to embrace that. You know what I mean? Oh, Green Lantern's vampire, really? That's silly. That's my reaction. Blood Hunters, on the other hand, you know, very cool. Very cool.
All right. So next up, we got Department of Truth
He's more than just a pretty face, Jay. You're right.
110 ratio by Martin Simmons. We've got this for 10. I'll do it for 8 tonight.
Ooh.
Fantastic issue to a fantastic series, y'all. If you're not reading Department of Truth and you're a fan of people like, or shows like the X-Files, for instance, or even something like Fringe, but especially if you're an X-Files fan, if you love watching conspiracy theory videos, check this book is amazing. It's so good. It's one of my favorites and has been.
Here I am putting it in my notes.
All right.
Robbie has not recommended a book to me or on this show that was not as advertised. He hasn't, you know.
See, me and Sean have made up over this book, so love you, Sean.
Well, we also have Department of Truth #25, 125 ratio by W. Scott Forbes.
Oh wow!
And we've got this for $15. We're gonna go ahead and lower that to 12.
Nice.
All right, and then we got Department of Truth #25, 150 ratio by Puppeteer Lee. And we have this for $70.
It's gorgeous. One of the things about this book that really sells it, the concept is cool, right? It's basically the American government and the Soviet government have these Ministry of Lies and the Department of Truth, right? And what they do is they realize that consensus belief changes reality. So if a lot of people believe that the earth is flat, if enough people believe that, the earth becomes flat and always has been flat, right? So what with the government realizes this exists, this idea of belief changing reality, right? And they now have departments trying to manipulate the narrative to go into their favor. And then you got Martin Simmons on the artwork. Amazing. Some of the best artwork you're going to see in a comic today.
Somebody compared this to a modern era Planetary, with this sort of unique art style and unique storytelling. If people haven't read Planetary, go check that out, because that really is something very different. Like Planetary isn't something you'd see, you know. And
Planetary is one of my favorite comics of all time, and R.I.P. John Cassaday, man. All right.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that too much, but yeah, John
and Carl Moline, we've lost both, and they were both only in their early 50s, man. That was
very
tragic.
bizarre. Like, people shouldn't be passing away before younger than me. Like, I'm old. I'm like the Hills old. And when I see that, I just, everyone has different things of John Cassaday that they like. For me, the obvious one is the Lone Ranger, right? Nick has mentioned how he affected, not only did he do the art, but there was editorial influence, and you can see it. And why I'm mentioning that is because his version of the Lone Ranger is essentially William Leather. If you've read Planetary, you know who William Leather is. And when Nick shared that with me, it made sense. And this wasn't like a rumor. This was literally like the creator telling Nick this was what was going on. So it's one of those quote unquote rumors. I'm like, tell people, no, this one I'm pretty sure is solid gold. This one is kind of from the source.
All right. So then we have last incentive is Wolverine Volume 8, number 1, 1:50 ratio by Mike Zeck. And we got that for $25.
Mike Zeck doing Wolverine again? Come on, y'all. That's crazy. Plus, I was really surprised by this Wolverine number 1. If you like 90s old school kind of Wolverine and you haven't checked out the new one, I would really recommend that you do. Cyber's in it. It's got the old school feel. It's brutal. Logan's like trying to be super like toxically too stoic at times and go off on his own again. Every time something goes wrong with the X-Men, I got to go off into the woods. It's so good. Nightcrawler's in it. Cyber. It's a great book.
In the proper costume, which I love.
All right. So then let's get to the Dynamite books of the week. All right. So last week we had Disney Villains, Cruella de Vil, number 5. If you are interested in last week's books, hit submission form. Tell us which one. They will be $3.99 or higher depending on the book, the cover actually. We also had Johnny Quest number 2 at $4.99 or higher depending on which cover you get. All right, Space Ghost number 5.
Some great covers. I love the Ken Hazer Turtles homage. I'm a sucker for those.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then we've got Red Sonja, Death and the Devil, number 1.
This was a fun issue number 1. I feel like there's a series that came before this. I feel like I need to read to get kind of fully caught up into it. I think it was at Birth of the She-Devil maybe that Lieberman did or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, weird. Take care.
I like this. So, John, you read this, right? That's a new character that's introduced in here, right?
Yes.
Okay. I like that character. I like the idea.
Bobby, you're 9 Eastern because Edward's asking.
Yeah, 9 Eastern, 1 missed call.
9 Eastern.
There you go, bud. Be well, bud.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked about this a little bit before. I'll just mention it real briefly. Red Sonja is not, there's been a lot of Red Sonja over the decades. Different publishers have done it. Dynamite has done it for 15-ish years. Creators are now looking at new things to do with Red Sonja that were not necessarily tried before. And I think when Nick and Joe Rybrandt greenlit Red Sonja's superpowers, I think that really hammered home the point that Red Sonja is a lot more than just, She-Devil with a sword or whatever. And I think Luke and some of the newer, more recent creators are like, hey, how about we try this? How about we try that?
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, I've been a Red Sonja fan since the 80s. I think it works. Other people's mileage may vary, but I think this works. Honestly, I love Red Sonja, but I've seen her cut off enough heads just while she's going from adventure to adventure. She's left a pile of NPC corpses. You know what I mean? I'm glad
the art in this book really impressed me. Like the artist is drawing and coloring it, and it's just amazing. It's so good. The art's amazing in this book.
All right, let's get to this week's Dynamite books. First up, we got Fire and Ice #3, cover A by Joseph Michael Linsner. $3.99 cover price.
I'm just so glad that I don't have to hear, hey, when's Fire and Ice #3 coming out?
All right.
That's been asked a lot, but I'll tell you this: if you're not familiar with Fire and Ice, if you're not familiar with the work of Ralph Bakshi, change that. Do yourself a favor and change that. You can probably pick up Fire and Ice on DVD or digitally for $20 or less.
And it's worth it. I watched it for the first time this year, John. You were right. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's just, it's you know, we're almost at a point when you're 15, 20, 25 years into fandom, you kind of get, I don't want to call it burnout, but you're sort of like you've seen everything, right? You know, like how many horror movies has Robbie seen? Right? Like there's only so many things they can do to pop him, so to speak. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same with comics and anything else. After a while, if you have not seen Fire and Ice, you don't know who Ralph Bakshi is, do yourself a favor. If you're looking for something new, you know.
All right. So
change that.
Next up is cover B by Leonardo Manco. And also a cover price of $3.99. Then we have cover C by Soat Azigan.
I like that
cover
one a
C,
lot.
also at $3.99. Then we got Fire and Ice #3, cover I by Joseph Michael Linsner, limited edition version cover. And we've got that at $50. And then next up we have Thundercats Chitara #3, cover A by Sue Lee. At cover price of $4.99.
Yeah, Sean, I agree. I absolutely agree.
This has got like a tarot vibe, like the star almost. Like if anybody's familiar with that card, it's kind of got that vibe to it.
All right.
So I wonder if that's intentional choice. I'm going to guess yes, but
it might be.
All right. So then we got #3, cover B by Ted Brandt and Rose Stein for cover price of $4.99.
Sir, we're doing a show.
All right, then we've got #3, cover C by Lyrics Lee, also for $4.99. Okay, Mr. No, Fire and Ice A, B, and C. You got it, Mr. No. Got you down, buddy. All right. Okay, where am I? All right. Lyrics Lee is cover C. All right, then we've got cover D by Rebecca Puebla. And we got that at $4.99 as well.
She was talking on Twitter one day. She's very much enjoying this. She's like, this is very much like a childhood touchstone thing, Thundercats.
So
Rex now has one missed
So
call.
Marcus, ironically, it is my kid. It's my daughter. So she should know better, but I'll call back in 10 minutes.
Nice, Thomas.
Well, if you get a voicemail from yourself from 2 days from now, don't listen to it. Just throw the phone away and go somewhere and hide. And don't do
All
anything.
right, so now we have
This
cover
is you from
E.
Wednesday. John is taking books again.
Cover E by
Yeah,
Edwin
yeah.
Galman. Cover price of $4.99.
I love the colors here. Like the painted, has the painted cover. Very cool.
All right, then we got cover M by Ken Hazer, our buddy Ken Hazer. X-Men #137 homage, and we got that for $4.99. Then we've got cover G, the Lyrics Lee limited edition version for $50. All right, and next up we got Powerpuff Girls #3, cover A by Leonardo Romero for cover price of $4.99.
TJ James, that's a quality drop in, man.
All right,
Rex's
Mr.
daughter
No.
telling him to save the squirrel, save the world. I like that a lot, man. That's really a blast.
Well, I'm assuming nothing's wrong that she hasn't tried to call me back. So, cover M, gotcha. Chitara, gotcha, Mr. No. You got it, buddy. All right. This is cover A by Leonardo Romero. Then we've got cover B by Paulina Ganicho, $4.99. Then we have cover C by Karen S. Darbo.
That's
$4.99.
really good, man. When you stare at it for a second, that's some quality work. Wow.
Ooh, excuse
It's my
me.
favorite Powerpuff Girl as well, right there.
All right, then we have cover D by Nicoletta Balderi for cover price of $4.99.
They're having a lot of fun doing this book. The cover is the story here.
The stories are so fun. Oh my goodness, they're so fun.
Aren't they?
All
They're
right,
just
so
sort of.
that's for Dynamite 10-pack.
Triple B.
That's,
Triple B. You got it, Triple B.
You know, interesting fact, not a lot of people know. Roger Jackson, who's the voice of Ghostface in the Scream movies, is the voice of Mojo Jojo in the original Powerpuff Girls show.
oh, no, I did not know that.
All
You
right.
see that? That's what Jay said. Not just a pretty face, dropping knowledge.
All right, then cover E by Paulina Ganicho, the limited edition version. That should not be $4.99, I'm guessing. That's probably $50, I'm going to guess. Sorry about that, Jay. That's on us on this end. All right, then we have cover G, 1:10 ratio by Ken Hazer, and that's $9.99. All right, and then the last bit here, Darkwing Duck Negaduck number 8, cover A by Jay Lee for $3.99 cover price. And then, hey, Phil, then we've got Darkwing Duck Negaduck number 8, cover B by Drew Moss for
You saw what
$3.99.
Dwayne said? He wants Powerpuff.
Hold on, Dwayne, you got it, bud. So Dwayne wants Powerpuff.
And CJ wants to
I
pick
talked
up
to the
Triple
writer
B's
a little bit.
10-pack. That's awesome.
I talked to the writer a little bit. He's having a lot of fun doing this book.
CJ, let me write that down, CJ. That's very nice of you, buddy. Let me just get, hold on one second. So Dwayne, B, C, D.
This is a book that you can tell.
All right, so
the
Mr.
writer
Nope,
has
you
grown
want
up watching this.
3 of cover A and 1G. All right, so Mr. Nope wants
CJ, that's very nice.
quantity. And
Yeah, why is everybody so nice around here? It makes me feel bad for talking all that smack about the Astros.
So, wait, cover G there. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, gotcha, buddy. All right, and then let's see. Who's picking up the 10-pack for?
CJ is picking up Triple B's 10-pack.
Gotcha, CJ. All right. Then we got Darkwing Duck Negaduck number 8, cover C by Trish Forstner for $3.99.
I like this. This is very cool.
And then Darkwing Duck Negaduck number 8, cover D by Cyril Cangialosi for $3.99.
That's a cool cover.
That's wild.
And then finally, cover E, action figure by Jeff Parker for $3.99.
Another stacked week for Dynamite at your local comic shop, y'all.
There
Killing
you
it.
go.
Crushing it.
For years, Parker didn't want people to know he could draw. He was almost hiding it. But when you've been a fan of people a long time, he could draw. And I'm glad to see him sort of, jumping, putting that back out there.
Right. All right. So, Negaduck. I don't understand what you're saying now.
Mega pack for Negaduck.
I think that's maybe saying that it's Mega Negaduck that's in this issue. That was on that cover. It's like an
Thanks,
ultra powered
I'll say
version, right?
All right, there you go. I'll go with that. I like that. All right. So, Jay, should we? All right. So, I saw that Phil just jumped in. Phil, the hashtag is EXP Monday, all lowercase. So, if you want to get that in real quick, we're going to do it in about a second or so.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Triple B. Dynamite has been killing it lately, and that's generally because they have the one thing that just don't.
All right. Sean is in. All right, Jay, shall we spin the wheel for me, my friend?
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, good luck.
That didn't sound sincere.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Hey, look at that.
Wow.
That's perfect timing, man. He
Talk
walked
about
in.
the lucky hand.
He walked in. Hey, everybody, I'm here to pick up my prize. I'm out. Have a great
That
He's
was
like, what are y'all
awesome.
playing? Blackjack? Sure. Here you go. What's going
Good
on?
job, Phil.
Seriously, Phil, go grab a lottery ticket on your way home, man. That
Yeah,
was
tell me
sweet.
what the numbers are. I
That
will
was
buy the
sweet.
same one.
What's your
I am
closest
so
casino?
glad
Go
they
right now and just pick red or black and put it all on it. Let's see what happens.
So tune in to PCP at 9 p.m. Eastern for Robbie's Horror Fest. And the movie again, Rob?
One Missed Call. Not the crappy American remake, but the original one from Japan by Takashi Miike. One Missed Call.
All right. And Jay, what do we have on the XP after that?
Yeah, so after you get done watching Robbie, swing by the EXP at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, where you can watch Best Coast Comics, and they're going to be talking about these new Whatnot packs and Key Collector and CGC team up, plus so much more. And I'm about to drop the link for that in the chat right there.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
So
Does anyone ever really finish stop watching Robbie? It's like an ongoing process. You just take a little break, but you always go back.
all
So
right.
we always got another show coming up, man. So, yeah.
9 p.m. Eastern for Robbie's Horror Fest show on PCP.
Watch the
Check
show,
out-
learn something so you can PCP fools in the chat later.
That's right. Go
we'll
vote at cbcawards.org. Come on.
We'll be back Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for our 1 hour show here on the XP. Of course, Nick will be on Friday for original art starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. As always, thank you, Jay, for pushing the buttons, Robbie for
Thank
joining
you,
us,
Robbie.
John for bypassing the beers and the movie to come here and join us as well.
I was going to say, it's 2 hours. That's a movie and 4 beers I missed. I got to catch
Easily.
up.
No, well, not anymore. The movies are 2 hours plus now.
Yeah, it's true.
But all the beer drinking you're missing out on. And Jay's filling out his form. You know what, Jay? You have to do that. So I
You
totally
form
forgot.
shamed him.
I totally forgot about the Bendis book, but now it's on there. I'll see it. Thank you all. Have a great week. Peace.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.